about it.
And you're just like, fuck, I'd kill for some flavor right now.
So many times it's just like, you're just like looking at other people, and when you go, I feel like that's why people get like eating disorders after fights. Like people blow out because like you go through such like strict discipline and you so much things that you just want, and then you get after and it's like, well, I can eat this now, and you just eat till you're full. Like you just eat till like you just want to feel absolutely sick.
Yeah, and then it's like, do you find for yourself that it's harder to jump into the diet in like the beginning or the end?
Definitely the beginning, so because you got the fight, like you're G'd up. You're ready to just get into camp for like 8 weeks.
Right.
I like doing long camps because I just get mentally locked in. I just legit.
How long was this fight? Camp,
we found out about 7 weeks out because I fought on the last Partex card.
Yeah.
And then they told me straight away, like, oh, we want you back on.
Yeah, so I was pulling up your typology, is why I bring this up. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Flynn O Keffee, the mixed martial artist coming from XXX Fight Academy.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Big shout out to the boys over there. Killer program.
Oh, amazing.
Killer
Best
program.
in the country.
Honestly, I think you guys make a very strong case.
Everyone says that their gym's the best in the country.
I know.
Everyone feels that their gym's the best in the country.
We have to rep.
Yeah.
Get that.
But we got something special.
For sure. It's just quality all around.
It's more the family environment, I think. Because honestly, our like reputation is we're all just strikers. Like you look at Lockie, you look at Caleb, we're all deadly strikers. But we're MMA fighters. Like we're not just kickboxers. Like we can do everything. We got world champions, we got pros, we just had young Blair win a world championship at the IMAF Youth World Championships for like the under 18s.
Where'd they do that?
I think he did it in Turkey or something.
Right.
So you've heard of Blair before, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, bro, he's an absolute killer. He's a world champion. So now we got a world champion.
Isn't he like 16 or something?
He's 17. He's
17.
almost 18, I think.
Right.
Almost. So he's getting there. But bro, he's legit had more fights than probably all of the fight team combined. Legit. He's had about, I think he's, like legit this year, he's probably had almost 20. Like above 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Legit. He's done so many tournaments. So much boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA. He goes to Thailand and fight.
Yeah. I'm constantly like seeing him pop up on stories and shit, and it's just because he's always either in camp or just coming out of camp.
I don't think he's ever gone without a fight. He's in a permanent fight camp. It's just his day-to-day life. He's always fighting. But I mean, I guess that's what works for him.
For sure. And I think like it's a bit different when you're 17 as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
You can kind of take more chances with your body because it's like you're
just on the go and you're learning. And his biggest asset is fight IQ because he's in there so much. Under the lights, under the pressure. Me, I found it really hard to get fights when I was young.
Right.
Because I've been doing this since I was, I think, 12.
Okay.
I started in 2017. So I've been doing this for ages. So
did that come from you or mum or dad or like?
It came from, I think I got into it when Connor was fighting Floyd. And my dad showed me it because I'm Irish.
Right.
All of Ireland was like hyped on Conor McGregor, and my dad showed me and I was like, this guy's like, he reminds me of myself. Yeah. He's just out there, he's courageous. And then I didn't know the sport like at all. I think the first fight I ever watched was Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holmes. And the way that it had what I remember is the way it had people, how Holly was this big underdog. It had my whole family on the couch in the living room and they were all just so G'd up, and then she knocks her out with that head kick. I thought that was amazing. I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah, there is something about a head kick knockout where you just go...
Yeah, I know.
Legs, but he's only got one more round to go. Final 10 seconds. Oh! That was exactly what he was setting up. You know, we saw that shot.
I've been watching a lot of your fight footage, and I think to come back to your original point is that, yeah, you're right. Like XXX Fight Academy, brilliant strikers all around. It's undeniable. It's for sure the stronghold of that camp and what you guys have going on. But I mean, when we look at your results, when we look at the ways you've won, like we've got submissions, we've got TKOs, we've got decisions. Like it's not just I'm gonna go in there and knock him out.
Yeah, I'm not just it's not only one outcome that can happen. Wherever the fight goes, I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
that's definitely what I think my biggest aspect is that I'm an MMA fighter.
Yeah,
definitely.
So 12 years old, you see Ronda Rousey, Holly Holmes. you're just super invigorated by the sport in that moment. Does the decision to go and join a fight gym, like, does that just like come instantly? You're just
it was just like this, just like this pulling towards it. The first session I ever had, it was a Mad Mondays Moe sparring day.
Oh, so you started at XXX?
Yeah, I've never been to another gym.
Right.
Started at XXX. It was only down the road from my house. Looked up on Google MMA gyms. It was the first gym that popped up, and it's the last gym I ever go to. Last gym I ever be a part of, team-wise. But yeah. So looked up a gym to go to. Went down. It was a Monday. Mondays is known at XXX as sparring days for Moe's 5:30 kickboxing class.
Nice.
It's just people punching on. Legit, it's just boys punching on. All of us on the mats. I went down there, got my ass handed to me.
Yeah.
Legit. And I was just like, my mum was sitting there watching, and I was like, I love this. Sign me up full time.
Wow.
And I was playing soccer at the time. I was playing like semi-rep soccer. I was not the best. I was in like AYL. Do you know what that is? You wouldn't know it. It's like, so you know how there's like MPL?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the one boy.
Oh,
like
so MPL 2?
Nah, not. You know how there's MPL 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
And then there's AYL. I played for Rams. If you know,
right.
you know
Yeah,
MacArthur Rams?
Yeah. See, back in my day, we used to call that state.
Yeah.
Because I played for Southern Districts.
Oh, yeah. I'd verse Southern District.
For sure. We played Rams all the time.
Yeah, no. And I was like good, but I was never going anywhere.
Right.
So I was playing soccer, and then I joined mid-soccer season. Like, I went to my first class, and I was like,
yeah, no,
I was like, fuck this, man. I was like,
bro.
Mum, I'm pulling out of soccer. Like, I'm doing this. And then, but I think from that day, I think it was like July 30th of July, I think, 2017. I've legit probably had 15 days where I haven't been at that gym in total.
Wow.
Like, days off. Legit. I think, like, honestly, I think I'm the most active member at that gym. You can ask my coach.
Just always there.
I'm in love with it. And it's not like, oh, I've got to go to the gym. Like, it's not even like an option. I just wake up and I want to be there. I just want to be at the gym and learning and training. Like, there's never a day where I'm like, obviously I have a few days where it's like, oh, I'm sore, I'm tired, but it's like my comfortable place. Like, it's just my therapy. I just love it. Love it to death. Yeah,
once you start getting that like addictive kind of focus on one thing, it's hard to break away from that.
And it changed my life around, especially because I was such like, not a lost kid, but like I was young. Like, I was like every other kid in my area. Like, I wasn't a crazy sports star. I didn't really know what I was doing, where I was going. And it just put me on this trajectory of like sorting my life out. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, finding order in the chaos.
Yeah, just finding myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I was put on this earth to do this.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. It's like, you know, whenever someone goes through like a tough breakup or something like that, the immediate response is either like dive into the chaos and like just or go to the gym. Yeah. There's no in between. 100%. So you're either like figuring out your shit and getting it together, or you're going the complete up to the end and let's go fucking clubbing and do cocaine every weekend. So I think, you know, when you have those kinds of moments in life, it's so important to find an outlet or to find something that you can be a beginner at.
Yeah, just something to dive into. Yeah. Put your whole life's focus into.
Like, I love the feeling of not knowing what the fuck I'm doing.
Exactly.
It is so like, holy shit. And you start to learn like the depth and the levels of thing. 100%. So when you go in, you get your ass handed to you and you're like, fucking let's go again. Let's go again. Did you immediately dive straight into the striking aspect of it? Did you go?
Yeah, it was more at the start of it. It was more striking because like we did start off as a very striking heavy gym. Like, there was more striking classes than grappling classes because we just didn't really have we didn't have any really. We had good jiu-jitsu coaches, but we were more strikers back then.
Right.
Back in the day, because this is like back when like Nathan was fighting, my head coach, and he was like that's like back in the day. So I got there, and there's all these like all the fighters then are men, and I'm 12. And do you remember when Lockie and Caleb came on this podcast and they showed you the photo of all of us, 4 little boys? That was like the 4 kids, and then the rest were just men. So we were in the sparring days punching on with like men at 13 and like 12.
Right.
So it started off more, I wanted to just dive into striking because I just fell in love with striking. But then
it's in your blood as well if you're Irish.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
100%.
I just love a boxing bout.
Yeah. It was more the boxing.
scrap. Yeah.
If I had to go to any other martial arts, it'd be boxing.
Yeah.
Because I just love boxing. No, but I fell into the striking, and then through the years, like I was at the gym every day, and I was still grappling, and I just fell in love with it more and more and more, and then I'm here now.
Was there a moment where you started to feel like you really were piecing it together? Because I find that, especially with mixed martial arts, it kind of comes in like ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah.
Like there's times you walk out of that gym and you go, damn, like, you know, I was on fire today, I was on top of
100%.
it. Then there's other days where you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, those days are the worst.
Yeah.
Every fighter goes through that, where you walk out of the gym and the guy that was on his 3-day trial was just piecing you up, and you're like, why am I doing this for? Like,
Yeah.
legit. But I think I'm still figuring out where I am, but I know that I have the potential to go where I can go.
Yeah.
It's just being a world champion.
But there's definitely, like, you definitely get a sense in like every mixed martial arts gym, like there is a pecking order, and everyone kind of
100%.
knows where
100%
they're-
there's a pecking
So
order.
how long do you think it took you before you started going, you know, I can start hanging with the older guys, or I can start hanging with, you know, people that before were just piecing me up? Like,
Yeah, well, I think in the start it was just because I was younger than everyone. I thought, oh, well, he's older than me. He's always going to have it on me. But as I got older, my skills started to go up. And then the people that would not stay in the gym would come back, and then I'd put it on them a little bit more, and it would be a bit closer. So I started to realize around 15, 16 that, like, I've actually got some skills here. Like, I'm actually pretty talented. Because I would never, growing up as a kid, like playing soccer, I was always like never the best. So I never thought that, like, you know, there's kids in primary school, the ones that always went to zone. I was never one of those kids.
Yeah.
I never accomplished anything. Like, I was never good enough. So then I started like, oh, okay, like I'm here, I can hold my own. Oh, I'm actually putting it on these people. And then we start going to other gyms, doing other sparring, like with other people. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, I'm here, I'm something, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So first fight?
My first fight was I was in year 9, so 2019.
That's so fucking nuts.
I know.
man. First fight in year 9.
Yeah.
I was terrified of ever getting hit in year 9.
I think I was 16 or 15. I think I was 15.
Right.
So we all flew up to this, because I'd wanted to fight since I got there, but my coaches were smart enough, and they were like, oh, you're not ready.
Right.
So we kind of just built ourselves up over a time period, and getting fights as a young kid is hard.
Really?
Like, it's hard, bro. It was for me. I know for some people it's not that hard, but especially for me, because they don't really want kids fighting adults.
Of course.
So they want kids fighting other kids, and it was just hard. So we ended up going to Queensland for our first fight.
Right.
It was me, Aiden Lewis, Liam, and Adam Ninja Boy, and we all flew up to Queensland on this one show. And because in New South Wales back then, well, it's just recently changed, but the rules were like really, it was hard to fight in a cage. And because I wanted to fight MMA, I was like, I don't want to go punch to the stomach. I'm not going to do that. That's gay ass.
But there's the rule sets.
Yeah, that's
So nothing to the head.
No, it was like mat sports. That's all you could do, really. Like little tournaments.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this full on. So we flew up to this promotion called Beast Championship. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. I think it's died off a bit. And I fought this guy named Randall Rowan. And my coaches took the fight because he could not get any other fights. Because he was like, I think he was like 2-0. He was an Australian jiu-jitsu like champion, like youth champion. And I didn't even know what he was. My coaches just said, yeah, you're fighting this kid.
Oh my God,
I was
that's like that meme that's always popping up on Instagram. It's like when they're reading out your opponent's credentials.
Yeah.
Deep Muay Thai has the best ones of those. It's fucking hilarious.
It's
And
funny.
now 50-0, never been knocked out.
Yeah.
47 consecutive knockouts.
And it's Alex Pereira standing there with that face. Yeah, so we flew up there and I fought this guy and I absolutely put it on him. And he was like, I was set up to lose that fight. To be honest, like they were like, oh, he said yes, so we'll chuck him in there with him. He's going to get killed. Because he like held the belt in that promotion and
Right.
all these
So
other
they just
stuff.
saw you as like a lamb.
Yeah, as a
being
lamb to
offered.
get slaughtered, basically. And then I went in there and I put on like for where most 16-year-olds were, my coaches saw it as like oh, okay, he's actually got some skills. That was the first time, like, I really thought, like, I'm actually pretty talented and skilled.
And you're 16 years old, you know, you're just dealing with normal high school bullshit, you're training every day. I can't imagine, like, the nerves that must have been going through you in the lead up to that, because...
See, that's the thing, no, I had no nerves.
No?
I get more... My first few fights, I did not have any.
Right.
Because I didn't take it as serious.
I see. So there's no pressure.
Yeah, because growing up, where I'm back in, like, Campbelltown, it was very, like, common for kids to go out younger. So, like, I was going out and doing all my partying. Like, my partying days are behind me. When I was like 15 and 16. I'm 18. I know. It's crazy. Yeah, I promise you it's crazy. But my partying days are actually all behind me. That's why I'm so like dedicated to this sport now. But I've got all that out of the way when I was like 15 and 16.
I see.
So I was going through like that, but also being a teenager at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I was like I was always in the gym, but I wasn't taking it as serious as I possibly could. So I was like, oh well, I'm just going to go and I'm going to fight, whatever. We'll see what happens. So I didn't take it as serious. And I won, put it on this kid. And then couldn't find any more fights since then. Not since then, but couldn't find any more fights for that year. Then I dabbled in the boxing for a bit. Mm-hmm. I jumped in a New South Wales novice like tournament. So for like beginner boxers. I think it was like 5 days or 4. And I won it. And I was like, I'd never boxed before. So.
And those tournament formats are so tough.
I will never do one again.
Right.
I would never do an 8-man or like a 4-man tournament. Fighting like days in a row. By the third day, I was like, I don't even care if I win or lose. I just want to go home.
Right.
It's like and making weight every day.
Yeah.
It's actually horrible. I think it should be illegal, to be honest. Honestly. Unless you're fighting with like, even boxing, like just getting hit every day in the head for 3 days straight. And because you build your energy levels up like so high. Because you're going into such high adrenaline, high amped up situations, which is a fist fight. And then you got to do that. And then you come on this massive come down. And then you got to get all the way back up there, all the way back.
And you've got to replenish, but you can't go too hard on the food or the water or the liquid.
Can't rehydrate properly.
Yeah.
It's stupid, man, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's particularly tough for boxing to do tournaments like that because it's so much of it is just impact to the head.
Yeah, definitely amateur boxing. I don't know if it was good that they've now taken the headgear out of it or not, but I found when I do like boxing rounds, I come out of there with headaches. I just don't think it's good to like just...
So you think not having the headgear is better?
I do, because when you're in the headgear, especially sparring in it, you visualize the way your eyesight is. You can't like... You don't feel as free in the head.
Right.
If that... Like, you can't see everything properly. So you can like... You get hit, and because you've got this big fat about this thick off your head, that's weighing you down every time you get hit. So it's hard to like spar.
Do you also like feel a bit of overconfidence in getting hit because you're wearing the headgear?
Yeah, exactly. You want to you feel okay getting hit.
Right.
In boxing, it's okay. In amateur boxing, it's okay to get hit. But in the pros, it's not okay to get hit. That's why it's the sweet science.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching I think it was juniors Olympic boxing the other day. Like it just popped up on my feed and I went down a rabbit hole. And it's fascinating how different the games are
compared to pros.
Yeah. It's
very like point scoring in and out. And then pro boxing is the 12 round style.
Yeah.
I definitely think pro boxing is better because it's more the sweet science of the sport.
Do you enjoy boxing? Like, do you watch it casually?
I love watching.
Yeah.
I love boxing. I don't watch it, like I only watch the big boxing fights, but I love boxing myself. Like just doing the boxing training, boxing sparring. I help out a few pro boxers actually.
Oh yeah.
Down in Wollongong, Team Campbell. Zeke Campbell, he's an up and coming pro boxer. I think he's fighting like tonight, I think. Or no tonight. But I do a lot of sparring rounds with him. Because I'm long, I'm southpaw. It's a different look. Especially when MMA guys go to boxing. It's a bit harder for boxers to figure it out on the go. But what I find is boxers are very good at figuring out patterns over the time. In MMA, it's a bit harder because you've got so much things to worry about. In boxing, you can figure out people's patterns a bit easier.
Yeah, because you have to be attuned to it. Like you have to be really paying attention to okay, when he throws that.
Because you've only got two things to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas mixed martial arts is so much more about the footwork and the angles and the takedowns and the
100%.
checks and the feints. So much feinting.
Oh, bro.
So much feinting.
I like to tend my game very big on feinting. I like drawing reactions out of people. So with my long arms.
Yeah, and especially as a southpaw.
Yeah,
because you get
100%.
such interesting angles when you work on the outside.
Definitely.
You really get to just fuck with people's heads.
Yeah, it's a very good tool to have. Just being a different stance, honestly.
Do you entertain orthodox much, or are you strictly southpaw?
I've been switching. I've been working on switching a lot, hitting from switching. Because when you go from southpaw, I really just stick to southpaw mostly. But to be honest, I feel like I'm gonna master southpaw properly, and then I'll look into the switching of stances. I feel like if you're switching too much for me, it gives you have to also be able to defend a takedown from orthodox.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. You also have to be able to kick. You have to be able to check properly. It's not just punching with the opposite hand forward. It's the whole game.
Yeah. It's just trickier with mixed martial arts, in my opinion, because you're so much more vulnerable to leg kicks, especially as a long southpaw.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as a long southpaw. And if that lead leg goes, like, it's
I couldn't
tough.
think of anything worse.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was Chandler and Poirier, and Poirier was putting it on Chandler's lead leg, which he does because he loves the low calf.
Yeah, because he's,
And, seeing, so Chandler, being Chandler, he comes out strong, aggressive, really puts it on him. And then as those leg kicks started to add up, you could see the change in pace.
Yeah.
And he'd switch to orthodox and southpaw every once in a while. And you could just see that, like, mentally he couldn't get.
It's
over
not
that
the same.
hurdle.
Yeah.
It was just like a survival kind of thing.
But you also should be able to have that in your back pocket that
Exactly.
you can switch if your leg gets compromised. In one of my fights, in that beast fight, I completely snapped my ankle.
For real?
In the second round, I stood back on it, and it just
was this your first fight?
Legit, my first fight. My ankle blew up straight after. But in the fight, I didn't feel it, but I should have been able to compromise. I remember saying in the corner, like, my ankle is absolutely blown out and fucked, and my coach was like, I do not care. Do not care. Just fight on with it.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
Do you because your fight camps would be, I can imagine, especially with the bullpen that you've got over there at XXX, like they'd get intense.
Yeah, we do very
rounds in.
Yeah, we do specific sparring.
Right.
So we do we have a sparring day, which is our Mondays, but that's like in a class sense. So you're moving around. But we do our Saturdays where it's like we have the cage now, and it's one person in the middle for 5 rounds, 2 different bodies. We're working that one person, and we're doing like specific stuff for that one person's fight.
So there's 2 schools of thought in this, right? And I think particularly when you're dealing with younger fighters, it changes the rules a little bit. But there's a school of thought of saying, like, the Sean Strickland way of, like, hard sparring all the time, always be fight ready. And then you've got more of the Max Holloway approach of, I don't spar. I don't spar. I just kind of shadow box and figure things out. And I'm curious, like, do you ever feel the physical toll of those harder sessions when you go into fights? Like, how often do you go into fights when you're like, I'm 100% ready?
Oh, I'm never 100% ready.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always injured. Like this whole camp, I could not kick with this leg because my foot's I just have ankle issues. Like my foot was messed up. But we work around it. But I think what I like to do is I just like to spar hard in camp, not out of camp. You don't need to be doing hard rounds, damaging your brain, because the main reason people get injured is in sparring. That's when people get injured. So we do our rounds on Monday, and that's like 60 to 70% we're going hard. But in fight camp, we're doing 6 weeks out, we spar, and then 2 weeks before the fight, that's the last sparring session.
Right.
Yeah, so we do that.
And is there more focus for you in your case? Is there more focus on the technical aspect of it, like the real game plan and strategy, and we're gonna like go in with a check hook, or is it more the physical conditioning? Like, how do you approach your fight camps?
Well, we bring Pacific. If we can, we try to bring Pacific people in. So this camp, I knew that I was going to be wrestled. I knew Bjorn was going to try and wrestle me a lot. So we brought in Brad Fulmer over from Gracie.
Excellent.
Amazing grappler. He gave me some great rounds.
To Brad.
Yeah, I love Brad. He helped me so much in this round. Because I was more of on the striking part, I upped his striking game and he upped my grappling game, which you saw in the fight, which was so helpful for me. So we did Pacific rounds with him because he's a great grappler, and we asked him to push me in the grappling sense, and it worked the charm. That's why my grappling was on point.
Right. So you take it kind of case by case then?
Yeah. Just work around the fight. Like, obviously, we're not in the UFC. We can't watch everyone's fights and like game plan them hardcore, but
That's
we
one
do
of
the
the
best
most-
we can.
That's one of the most frustrating things about Australian mixed martial arts is there's just not enough footage. There's enough
yeah,
content
100%.
going out.
Like this guy I was fighting, Bjorn, on his topology, he's 3-3, but he's had 12 fights. Like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think on yours it says 3-0, but I'm like, no, this is
Yeah,
that's
I'm
way
4-0.
more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Topology gets it wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm ranked 17. I should be ranked probably number 10.
Number 10.
I reckon I should.
Do you look through those rankings and go like,
Yeah, sure.
he's next, he's next, he's
Well,
next?
next fight hopefully is, I don't know if I'm going to say it anyway. Should be for the Path to Hex featherweight belt in February. Don't know who the opponent is yet on the last card.
So is that a vacant belt at the moment?
Well, Jake Piper and Jet Fisher fought for it on the weekend.
Another excellent fight.
Yeah, I talked to Jake. Jake's mad. And Jake beat Jet, but now Jake's turning pro.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen there. And Jet is number 2 on topology. So I want that number 1 spot.
You want Jet? You want to take on Jet?
I want to take on the number 1. Yeah, I want to be number 1 in the country.
For sure. Do you start looking at opportunities like that, and do you start saying to yourself, all right, I'm going to take the Path to Hex belt and then go pro, or like do you map out your career, or how do you manage that side of it?
Definitely, I like to think you should always never look past the next fight.
Okay.
Never look past the next fight, but also have a 3 fight. What's going to happen in these next year? I've done 3 fights in 8 months. Oh no, not 8 months. 3 fights in 5 months. So this is my game plan. As soon as I turn 18, straight in the cage, just straight MMA. That's what our game plan was. Because from 16 to 17, I couldn't find a single fight. So it was all just preparing me. As soon as I turn 18, it's going to be so much easier to get me fights. So we're just going to pump them out. So I think next year I'm going to aim for around 3 fights, 4 fights, belts. But I want belts. I want to make a statement. That's what I want.
So for you, it's not about the promotion, it's about the name, it's about whatever. You're going Thanos on
it. Taking over.
I love it, dude. That's the mentality and the approach that you have to have with it, because I think people get so sucked in, like, especially with fighting is a very ego-driven sport. It's me versus the world kind of approach. And I think a lot of people get sucked into, this promotion's better than that one, or this one's this, or that one's that. And I think it's so much more important just to be focused on fights and just getting fighting. And fighting.
Well, this is our apprenticeship. The amateurs is our apprenticeship.
For sure.
When we turn pro, that's when you should start to map out your career and make the best choices. What's for you. But as an amateur, I want to take the hardest fights. I think I'm the best, so I'm going to go and try and prove that. If I lose on the way, so what? That's what I want. I want to prove to everyone that I'm the best.
Yeah.
And I believe it, so I'm going to try. If I fail, oh well. At least I tried.
Well, you've been doing well so far. I mean, in the past year, you've had, 3, 4 fights?
3 fights in 5 months. I turned 18 in March. And that's when you're allowed to fight. My first fight was on Wollongong Wars in May. That's the first one we could get. Took it. Insane head kick.
3 fights in 5 months.
Yeah, I just like to pump them out.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, I haven't had a break all year. So now I'm going to Thailand on Monday, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
You going to go hit some pads over there and get some work in?
Get a few massages. No, I'm just going to dive into training, honestly.
Right.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a fighter's cleanse. That's my reward now. I told myself if I win this fight, I'm just going to go to Thailand and just train, get involved.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you have been extremely active and, obviously you've got to take care of the longevity of your career as well. 100%. So do you kind of say to yourself, okay, like let's take 10 weeks off, 12 weeks off?
Yeah, well, we said we're not going to fight till February if that's 100% locked in.
Okay.
But, we just said we'll rest for the end of the year because I've got a few injuries. I'm going to sort them out and just get myself back. And because I've been in fight camp, it's a bit hard to improve your game when you're in fight camp because you're working like specific things. Right. So now I'm just going to use this as my learning period. So I think 3 fights a year is pretty good.
It's very
100%.
Good.
I think 4, you're being very active, but I'm so young. Like I have so much more to learn.
Right.
I have so much more to learn. So.
Where would you like to learn? Like obviously,
just a whole round everywhere. I just want to get better.
Of course.
I'm chasing perfection, and perfection's impossible.
But do you feel like, I don't know how to phrase it in any other way, but do you feel like there is a hole in your game right now that you're very eager to kind of top up? Or okay,
obviously
maybe,
there's lots of holes in my games that
Right.
I know of, that my team knows of. I'm not going to put them
yeah,
out.
you don't have to say anything specific, but do they exist for you? Like, can you recognize
100%,
them?
yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But I think what I've improved on is my grappling defense. If you saw in that last fight, everyone thinks if he's a striker, all you do is take. That is legit the narrative. If it's a striker, all you got to do is take him down.
Yeah, easy
So that's
peasy.
what, that's what we knew, being a long, tall southpaw. Because for featherweight, I'm pretty big as well.
Yeah,
Like, I don't struggle to make 66, but it's not the easiest.
of course.
I would never make bantamweight, that's for sure. But
What are you walking at nowadays?
right now I'm probably like 75.
Okay.
So like I'm not too big. Like I know people that do bigger cuts than that
Yeah.
to get to bantamweight.
What's the emotional response when you go and get a head kick knockout, or you go and win like your third consecutive fight?
Well, I've been dealing with it the past few days. After a fight, it's crazy. You feel like the fucking man.
Yeah.
Like for that 2-day period, like obviously I fought last weekend, and it's just like you wake up in the morning, you've got 50 DMs, like everyone's tagging you in reels, everyone's texting you congrats, and you feel like the biggest celebrity. Then you get home and you're sitting in your bed on your own. And then Monday rolls around and everyone's going to work. It's just another day.
Right.
I realized that on the first fight that I was like, I'm learning to deal with the emotions a bit better now. Trying to be a bit stoic with it, not get too high on the highs and not get too low on the lows.
Interesting.
Just stay very medium with it. I realized that the higher, it's hard to explain, but when you go so high, you must come down. So if you realize what you've accomplished and you celebrate it, like I was in the gym yesterday already. I was in the gym on Monday just watching. Like I feel like if you just don't put yourself on this celebrity aura and think you're the man and just get back to the, like, because obviously on that night you feel like the fucking man.
Of course.
You're like, I'm rolling around Melbourne, I'm going to the casino, I'm balling, I feel like the pimp. I feel like a pimp. But then you just come back on Monday and you ground yourself, you're at home with your family. And you just remind yourself.
Do you have a process or something specific to kind of bring things back down to?
I watch videos of myself.
Okay.
So what I do is I like vlog to myself.
Interesting.
So I tell them, I record myself like little messages. Like, oh, we're 4 weeks out here. This is how we're feeling mentally. We're 2 weeks out. This is how we're going to feel. When this happens, this is going to happen. After, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stay grounded. All that. Just little things like that. Just little mental notes.
Almost like journaling.
Yeah, I journal. But I'm a very bad speller. I can't read my own writing.
The vlogging is easier.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. And then hopefully one day it'll be in my documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Netflix, pay up.
Give me my money.
I like that because this is one of the things I'm most grateful for the podcast for, is that it gives me an outlet to kind of get my thoughts out of my own head and, express them in a way that, for myself, at the very least, for myself, it gets it out of my own head and gets it elsewhere. But
I feel like when you speak things out into existence, it can sometimes just cure whatever you've got going on inside.
For sure.
100%.
That's why, like, when things are tough, you want someone to talk to.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just like, I need something to figure this out.
Yeah, if you just say it out loud, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
And
come
then
out.
writing it, I think there's an extra gear.
That's very true. You just,
Yeah.
fuck, she made me feel like this. Fuck them.
Yeah, for real. And it's almost like this experience of just clearing out your mind, doing a stock count and everything. This is how I was feeling yesterday. This is why I was feeling it. And
100%.
this is how we're going to approach today.
Yeah.
With like an intention, like setting each morning with an intention. I know this sounds like voodoo and
Bro,
crap.
I'm so into that shit.
Yeah.
I'm so heavy. This camp especially, like meditation, lots of just little things. I think routine is the biggest form of meditation.
Yes.
100%. If you're in a good routine, it does feel boring when you're in it, but when you're out of it, like right now, I wish I could go back 4 weeks ago to feel how I was feeling mentally. Like just mentally secure, if that makes any sense. Like I'd get up and I knew exactly what I was doing every day. And I feel like that makes a routine can really change a person's life, I think. 100%.
Well, it dictates everything. It dictates the momentum that you build.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the thing is, when you're in a routine, you don't necessarily recognize the progress that you're making. Because
Yeah.
it's just another day at the gym. It's just
Exactly.
another day in the office. It's just
Exactly.
another day doing this. But then the compounding effect of that over time.
That over time,
is
gathering up.
where you kind of look back on it and you go, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I just did the thing.
And good habits lead to more good habits. More bad habits lead to more bad habits.
Yeah. Do you strategize like your routine? Do you break things down and go, okay, I've got, this fight coming up in 10 weeks. I know I'm going to need to make this weight. So starting today, I'm going to be more stringent on my diet. I'm going to start introducing more cardio. Like, how do you approach your routine?
Definitely at the start of camp, it's the most easiest because you've got one end goal and you've got this one thing that you're working towards. So at the start of camp, I'll sort everything out. In this camp, I've sorted out a nutritionist. I've sorted out strength and conditioning. I've sorted out what sessions I'm going to do, what sessions my coaches want me to do, how I'm going to do them, what days I'm sparring, what days I'm peaking, what days I'm eating things, what days I'm resting, just little things like that. So I kind of take it week by week, but I know I plan out the whole week.
So that's a lot of information to be absorbing at 18 years old. So
yeah,
are you actively finding new strategies or new...
Oh yeah, I'm always trying to learn.
Information from?
I've been watching a lot of Sean O'Malley. He's a very big inspiration to me. I used to just watch him because I liked his fighting, but if you actually... Do you watch his podcast, man?
I've watched a couple of clips. I haven't committed to a full episode yet.
His life... I've kind of like just taken inspiration on like healthy lifestyle living. Because I used to be all over the place. Like I used to eat like shit. I used to go out and just do stupid shit.
Back when you were 15.
Just do the dumbest things. And then now I'm trying to just really get into like a healthy mindset of what makes me want to wake up in the morning and feel good and do everything right. Because when you have a good day, like if you wake up in the morning, instead of waking up and you look at your phone the first thing, take a puff of your vape. I'm joking. I'm just kidding. I've had a chub a few times.
You know what? I turn my phone off in the morning, man.
Put on do not. I leave it in the pantry. Nah, but if you start your day right and have a good day, it just changes. Like if you wake up and get in the ice bath. Have you ever done an ice bath?
Oh yeah,
bro. I've just ordered this new one with like a pump. I was having those like little shitty ones.
Right.
Not the go. I've ordered this new one with like a proper pump that it will change your life. Cold water, and it's annoying because it's like a trend now.
Yeah,
but it's like it makes me feel. So
you know what's interesting though? It was a trend during the summer period, and then you saw. Bro, I don't know if
everything's
you noticed,
harder in the winter.
I don't know if you noticed, but the amount of ice bath videos that were being posted like the last 3 months has fucking plummeted. Plummeted. 100%. No one was talking about ice baths in the last 3 months. Now you'll see it come back again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
everything is harder in winter, especially when you're working and stuff.
Yeah, but I think the ice bath, more than anything for myself, really helped me develop just the mental fortitude of saying, here is this shitty thing that I don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Legit. It's so hard to just get up in the morning and get in that cold water. Like what? No one on earth wants to do that.
No.
But if you wake up, you get in that ice bath, then you stretch, you meditate for a bit, eat food, and then you go to work instead of waking up 10 minutes before you go to work, get in the shower and go to work.
Yeah.
Just those little things can make your day so much better.
Yeah.
And that's what honestly I've found this year.
How do you approach your recovery? Are you strict on your sleep?
I'm very strict on my sleep. I take my sleep so serious.
Right.
That one Joe Rogan podcast when he had this sleep neurologist on changed my life.
Okay.
Absolutely changed my life. I don't look at my phone 30 minutes before I go to bed. I don't eat 30 minutes before I go to bed. I try to block out I just do little things that help my sleep, and obviously sleep's the biggest form of recovery.
Yeah. Yeah, I think especially for someone in your position, being as active as you are and demanding so much from your body, you have to give it a chance. Yeah. I'm fucking horrible with my sleep. You can ask.
Can you run on 4 hours sleep?
Oh yeah, I'm on 6 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Just blue V's and 420 sausage rolls.
Honestly, it's no. I'm very strict on my diet.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm a bit more complacent on my sleep because I don't eat crap.
Yeah, that's alright.
My diet is my diet is so bland and boring. Yeah. I'm very cued in on that, but then when it comes to my sleep, I'm very much a night owl. So I'll go to the gym at midnight
Yeah.
because there's no one there.
Yeah.
And I'll go and have pre-workout and fucking just go for it
Yeah.
and train hard. And then I'll be at home at 3. I'm like, fuck, I've got work in
Just
6
sitting
hours.
up. Fuck, why can't I sleep?
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually where the vape comes in. Andy.
100%.
But it's
You smoke?
Yeah. Yeah.
To sleep?
Actually, interestingly enough, I use it as kind of an incentive to work out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like very good stoners that can go out and do things, and then sometimes weed just makes people lazy as fuck.
I think it just comes down to the person.
Yeah. I personally cannot smoke, but
Yeah, fair enough.
I go crazy
Yeah.
because my brain's so like ADHD. I hate like not being in control.
What do you mean it's so ADHD?
Because I'm very like hyperactive. Like I'm very out there. Like, because I have this thing where like I smoked on the weekend for the first time in like 4 years, and I just hate not being in control of my body. My brain like just goes. I hate not being able to control my thoughts. And when I'm stoned, I was just like,
yeah, it can
wigging
get
out.
rough.
Yeah, I was
It can get
wigging
rough.
out. I did not enjoy it.
See, my approach is so different because I know people use it to like be more social, you know, be more like entertained.
Yeah.
I like the last thing I want to do when I smoke is like watch cartoons and eat junk.
Yeah, it makes you want to do stuff, doesn't it?
It makes me. Firstly, I feel like I have a lot deeper thoughts.
Oh, okay.
So I'll listen to stoicism.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll like really download the information, and even if I'm not retaining,
It's kind of like an opening for your
sure.
brain to be a bit better.
And then when I'm working out, like I'm really focused on each muscle contraction.
Oh, okay.
I'm really
So it's
focused
kind
on
of a performance enhancement for you.
for real. It's
Legit.
like it's the closest thing I'll get to steroids.
Yeah,
like that's
100%.
what it feels like.
I feel like the little things that I do, like sleep, for me is my performance enhancement.
Yeah, of course.
And eating healthy is my performance enhancement.
Yeah, eating diet is
Oh,
it's 80% of it.
But everyone just wants a double cheeseburger.
Yeah,
So bad.
you gotta give a bit of room.
Yeah.
You gotta give.
Oh, I'm Melbourne, bro. Oh.
Yeah.
I throw up after all my fights. Honestly. Did you see my story after? I was throwing up, bro.
Wait, so let's break
I
this
don't
down.
go like Macca's straight away.
Right.
I throw up
So
because
you get your hand raised, right?
Oh, bro.
You get your hand raised.
I'm in there like, give me the bucket.
For real?
Yeah, my coach will tell you. I'm not gonna say it. I vomited in the cage and swallowed it back down.
No way.
I'm not even joking.
Is that just from the fighting, or is that?
Yeah,
from
that's just like I don't rehydrate stupidly. It's just from like cutting weight as soon as I get full again, and then you go into a fight where you're using 100% of everything. Your muscles, like your adrenaline spikes up so high,
Right.
and just throw up from time to time.
right.
Yeah.
And so then you go get your hand raised. You go celebrate with your boys.
First thing's the alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah, give me a JD.
Nice.
And then it's food. The night.
It's got to be the worst combination.
Yeah.
CTE and JD.
And dehydration.
Yeah.
Nah, definitely. Yeah, you got to party after because
Mm.
you go through like 8 weeks of. I personally like to be very to myself. Like I don't really see my friends. Like I don't like to go to social events because it's hard. And then it's all over. It's all done. You got nothing to look forward to. And now you feel like a celebrity and you just want to go out there and you just want to have fun and party.
Yeah.
So I had fun in Melbourne, and then next day, the breakfast buffet at the Crown, when I tell you, it was fucking heaven. Oh my God. It was so good.
What's the first thing you're going for?
I went for the hotcakes. These little mini hotcakes with maple syrup.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, it was
I'm
so
so glad
good.
you said that. I
fucking
was
love it.
thinking if I ever had a fight, pancakes for sure
Oh,
the
it was
day
so
after.
good. And then I just kept eating till I feel absolutely full. Because you just like, you feel like you just owe it to yourself. Because you've been through all that dieting and hard work. But the amount of times you look at your plain rice and chicken and say, fuck this, I don't want to eat this.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, you've got all this food in front of you and you're just like, it's accessible
I will
everywhere.
say though, there is a difference in the way that cutting weight for a fight goes as opposed to something more traditional like bodybuilding.
Yeah, 100%.
In that, because you're only doing it for a 10-week window because you're
Yeah.
preparing for like this one event. It's almost like this thing that you just have to get through.
Yeah.
I just have to eat chicken and sweet potato or rice or whatever for the next 6 to 8 weeks and then get into a fight and then I can, chill a bit on it. But when there isn't necessarily a
With the
time
body,
frame
yeah.
on it with the bodybuilding, it becomes your reality. you learn to expect it. Your body just adjusts to it, and it just goes, like this is just what I
just a lifestyle.
Yeah, and I work in hospitality, right? Like I work in a steakhouse. We do steak sandwiches, and burgers, and chips, and mayonnaise, and just bro. But I'm so honed in now on that diet aspect of it, where it's like I can literally be making like a mad T-bone steak with chips and mayonnaise and salad and just it's just a steak. Food stops getting exciting after a while.
100%.
Do you ever, like, when it does come to weight and the physical conditioning, do you ever think to yourself, okay, maybe if I just walked around a little bit lighter and had less of a load on the cut, then I feel like perform better? Or
I feel like I don't cut a lot of weight. Like I diet my way down to like 68 kilos, and then I just got to get to 66.
Yeah,
but I feel like right now at this point, it's not that hard for me to get like into camp and into the shape. It's just about the discipline.
Of course,
aspect.
and your body becomes more elastic to it, so it just knows, okay,
your body. We're in fight mode. Let's go. But I feel like if I was to diet full time, live 100% healthy, without the highs, you're just gonna get lows. I feel like. So if I was just dieting 100% all the time, I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to have those like working towards something. There's a reason I'm doing. I don't enjoy dieting. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't enjoy eating on a strict 2,000. I can only have this amount of food every day. Like I don't enjoy that. I obviously am not gonna go fucking eat Maccas every day, but I want to be able to enjoy the little things in life because I've worked hard. I've gone through this 8-week training camp, and then I've put in the work, and then I've got the outcome, and now I can reward myself a little.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think as well, the factor that a lot of people overlook in this is that the explosivity that's required and the cardio that's required for mixed martial arts is so much different to any other sport. Any other sport, even soccer. Like soccer is a very cardio demanding sport, and
you put a soccer player in a fight,
they won't last. They won't last. I think particularly when it comes to like the wrestling and the takedown, like.
That's what I mean. It's
wrestlers
so
are just built different.
Wrestling in general, like when you go from, there's a difference between a stand-up fight and an MMA fight. There's a difference between an MMA fight where it's stand-up and an MMA fight where you're getting taken down, grappled. Then you got to stand back up. Now your arms feel like jelly because you've just squeezed your whole.
And the work it takes just to get back up.
That's why I just don't get taken down.
Wait, how do you see the next 5 years playing out for yourself?
Next 5 years? Definitely all the belts are amateur. Not all of them. Can't get all of them, but claim heaps of belts. Make my name as the #1 amateur in the world. Not as I mean, maybe actually. I'll go to IMAF.
Fucking own it. Why
I'll
not?
go to IMAF.
Yeah. You just said you don't want to do any more tournaments, but you know, IMAF, fuck it.
To be a world champ's different.
Yeah.
Definitely the next 5 years, I think I'll be in the UFC by about 20. I'm going to say 2026. I want to take my pro career slow because I'm going to be pro so young, I think. I think I'll be turning pro around 20 because I'll run out of people to fight at amateur. And then I want to take my career smart as I can. I want to use my fighting, my skills to earn as much money as I can, put my family in a secure place, put myself in a secure place. And then I'm going to be a world champion. And then I want to go down as one of the greatest fighters ever. But that's everyone's dream. I just got to get there.
But most people don't say it.
Yeah, 100%. But I feel like I can say it. I can sit here and go on about how I want to do all these things, but it's only going to get looked back on this right here if I become a world champion. So I'm just going to go and try.
You could be having an Ariel Hawaii
exactly.
kind of moment.
100%.
Could be one of those, huh? I mean, I think a big part of stoicism is understanding how to interact with the world and your relationship with what you can control and what you can't control.
Yeah.
So a lot of what most people will expend their mental energy on is things that they can't control. So things like politics, things like the climate, things like, you know, the price of petrol and the news, essentially. Whatever's on the news is what's really dictating their mood for that day.
Yeah,
oh my
100%.
God, look at Russia, and oh my God, look at Israel, and oh my, and not to say that those aren't important issues at all. Of course they are. But in a day-to-day approach to life, there's only 3 things you really can control, and those things are your actions, your emotions, and your reactions.
100%.
And when you hone in on making sure that those 3 aspects of your life are the best reflection of you and who you are as a person, then no matter what happens, you will always be in control. You will always have nothing will be able to catch you off guard, because you're like, okay, this bad thing's happening right now. How am I processing that emotionally?
Yeah.
And having that level of self-awareness is so important. And I think the best fighters in the world are masters of that.
Masters at their mind.
Yes.
Like when I'm in the back, I don't know if anyone's seen me or anyone pays attention, but when I'm in the back, I'm like calling myself like the best in the world.
Yeah.
Like I build up my own confidence in my head so that it becomes true. And I feel like the reason I will never be an underdog in any fight, like I will never see myself as an underdog because I'm so confident in myself. And I feel like that's my biggest driver. I just have so much self-belief.
Yeah, and that is a form of stoicism in itself,
exactly.
because you're taking control of your emotions.
Exactly.
You're not letting the things that you can't control, the crowd, the fighters, the media, the press, the opposition, the cage size. You're not letting any of that affect how you feel about you.
There was this one thing that I was watching like a Connor interview. That was like my motto for this camp. And it was like, if you're going to have any thoughts, why not make them positive? Why have because going into this fight, this was like a really tough fight for me. Like it was my first big test, big challenge. And the start of camp, I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. Like, let's see. And then I just had this complete mental switch where I was like, no negative thoughts at all. Like no negative thoughts at all. I'm the best. I'm better than this dude.
And you went and proved it.
100%. Yeah.
Not even surprised. He's like, yeah, of course I did.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team have that belief in me as well, which is good.
Does it help? Actually, maybe the better question is, how much involvement do the professional fighters, let's say your Caleb's and your Lachlan's and these boys, how much influence do they have over your camps? And are they heavily involved? Can you talk to them for guidance? Like, what's your relationship like with them?
Yeah, well, it's legit like a family. Like Nathan, Moe, and Aiden, they're the dads. They're dads. Caleb and Lockie, they're my older brothers.
Right.
And then you've got me, Blair, all the younger brothers down here. So we just look like the way I've looked at Lachlan and Caleb's career, I've taken all the good and I've taken all the bad. I see all the mistakes that they made and all the mistakes that I don't want to make, and learning from their mistakes, making my career better. Does that make sense? Because that we saw that Lachlan and Caleb were seen as such deadly strikers that people were going to try and wrestle them a lot. So obviously they started out as just strikers, and like their wrestling, obviously it was good, but they didn't work as hard on their wrestling. So now the coaches have seen that, okay, we're going to work this game on Flynn because we know that this is what people are going to try and do to him.
Right.
So it's kind of like just learning from mistakes. And now probably the next boys coming up, they're going to look at me and say, what have we done wrong with Flynn? We're going to put it into these boys and do it right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And that's how the evolution of the sport
exactly.
plays out.
It's the evolution of gyms. 100%.
And so are you kind of talking to them on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, yeah, they're like my older brothers.
Right.
Well, we're in the gym together every day.
Right.
Go to Lachlan for so much advice. He's like, every question I've ever wanted to know, I just ask Lachlan.
Yeah.
Or Caleb. Or Moe.
What great role models they have. I mean, they're both great guys.
Especially Nathan and Moe as well. They're legit like my dads. Like, I'm with them with more than my own family. Like, they know me better. Like, than probably my mum. Like, I call Nathan my dad. He calls me his son.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Akuma does as well. He looks amazing. Adam?
Adam's young. He's real talented, bro.
Super talented.
Just got to get fights in.
He's super talented, man.
We got a few boys coming up. We got Isaac, my training partner. He fought on Path to Hex as well.
Okay.
He won. He's 1-0 now in MMA. He's got another one on Enduro. We got Aiden Lewis. I think he's on Enduro as well. He was meant to be on Path to Hex. And then we got Blair, me, Caleb, obviously lucky. We got Mossy, Michael. He's 6-0 as an amateur, making his pro debut soon. And And then we got big Zach Musali, Moe's son, who will be making his debut next year, 2024.
No pressure, kid.
No pressure, Zach. He's got so much pressure, the coach's side. And that's, bro, Nathan and Moe put so much pressure on me as well.
Yeah.
So much pressure. We came all the way to Melbourne, you're not going to fucking lose.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like pressure. I feel like in high pressure moments is when I perform.
I think it's just not just pressure though. I think it's honesty.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like knowing that your coach is going to be that honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And not try and buddy you up and be like, hey, it's okay. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter how
I think that's what makes our gym so good is because, like, we do not kiss ass. Like, my coach will tell me if I'm slacking, if I'm not doing something right, if I'm not picking up in the gym, if I'm not working hard enough, if I'm not doing something right. Honesty is the best policy, to be honest. And it's only coming from love. Like, it's not they're trying to hurt my feelings. They're only saying it because they care.
Who's the most interesting fighters for you right now in the UFC? Like, who do you spend the most time watching?
Definitely Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he's just so into what I'm into. Or he's got me into it.
Do you think there'll be a rematch?
No.
No?
Unless Aljo wins this year.
Yeah, but I don't think Aljo wants to stay at Bantam.
Bro, it's business. I'm trying to look at the fight game as a business. Like, I'm trying to make money. Like, we're kind of prostitutes. Like, let's be real. We're all, like, we get in there naked and fight other men in front of other people.
Yeah.
For people to come pay and watch. Like, and if I'm going to get in there and punch on, I want to make as much money as I possibly can.
Right.
So that's why I'm trying to be big on my social media and things like that.
What kind of stuff are you doing? I mean, obviously posting on Instagram.
Yeah, just posting on Instagram. A little bit TikTok, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You dancing? You doing Perry?
No. But yeah, I'm just trying to...
I like the idea of vlogging for you.
Yeah?
I think it's a very candid way of you kind of just...
expressing myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You gotta just not care what other people think, eh? Like, was it hard starting a podcast for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The amount of times everyone has said, let's start a podcast. And no one's ever done it. You're the grey hair. You actually did it.
Oh, look, I'm very lucky in the sense that, you know, when I did it, there already were models to base it off.
But you've, like, given, like, amateurs, like, spotlight. Like, amateurs don't go on podcasts. Like, 5 years ago. No one cared about amateur MMA. I've watched a few of your stuff. You've put a lot of amateurs on the scene.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's good to know how other people think as well. Like, I listened to the one with Jesse on the way here.
Yeah.
Jesse, what's his name?
Spain.
Yeah. And just seeing that. Actually. It is actually.
Because he
could
come up in weight for sure.
Or we've spoken before. I spoke to him at Path to Hex.
Right.
He's cool. Like, he's a cool guy.
I
said to him, I was like, bro, we might meet one day. So Jesse, if you ever want to get it on, just let me know. Is he bantamweight, but he's bantamweight.
He fights at bantamweight, but he has gone up as well.
Because he fought Brad as well, eh? Yeah. And that went unfortunate.
Depends who you ask. I mean, look.
I'm not one to call out people. I respect everyone. We're all fighters.
Hey, Jesse, we love you, bro. We love you. I know you like to fight. I know he likes to fight. That's all we're saying here.
What's he got, the featherweight belt for Urban?
He's got featherweight and benchweight, so he's championship.
After this Path to Hex, Jesse, if you want, me and you, Urban, we'll sell out Sydney, brother.
I think so.
That's not a call out. That's a respect.
Yeah, no, respect. It's 100%. Listen,
I want the best fights.
This is a competition at the end of the day.
He's very good. I've watched him fight. He's mad. He's a mad fighter.
Yeah. I'd love to see a Brad rematch for him as well.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think Jesse earned it, but just purely because it was such a good fight.
It was.
It was such a good fight.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Brad had his moments. Like those first 2 rounds, he really fucking shined.
Who else is it? Call out everyone. Fuck everybody.
I kill everybody.
Have you seen that Hecklon Agamagu?
No.
I don't know how to say his name.
No, I haven't.
There's a few on Hex making big names.
Yeah.
There's a few like people that are in the spotlight, which is good. It's good that we're getting like good, what's the word? Exposure.
Yeah.
There's a big scene in it.
I think the promotions need to do more.
I think they've done a lot.
I think they've done a lot in terms of creating like a professional feeling and establishment to mixed martial arts. Like, you know, the footage looks better and the commentary sounds better. But I think in terms of actually getting people invested in fights, it's kind of like your fight poster just doesn't cut it.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know?
That's very true.
Especially like for someone like me, my Instagram feed is just all fight posters.
Yeah.
It's all I'm seeing all day because
and I feel like fighters got to go out of their way now. Like, take it into your own hands. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
If you're not going to if no promotion's going to, then you're not going to, the UFC is not going to make you a star. You're going to make yourself a star by first of all, the way you perform and then the way you sell yourself.
Yeah. I mean, there's two skill sets in mixed martial arts in any profession, but, you know, in the context of mixed martial arts, there are two skill sets. Your technical ability, the way you can fight, the way you can, you know, slip and cover and punch and take down, and then there's your communication ability. How well are you at convincing people to watch you fight? 100%. This is the fight game, baby. 100%. There's nothing.
Everyone watch me fight. I'm the best. I'm the best ever.
But you know, it doesn't even have to be like that, man. Like, I mean, it can be. And
you can just be yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
People just need a story.
Yeah.
They just need a story. And that's where I think, you know, having the podcast has been such a cool experience because it's like I get to learn about these up and comers.
Yeah.
I get to learn about these amateurs and their stories. And then suddenly, like, I'm telling my friends, like, hey, bro, you have to watch Brad Fullman just see swaying because I'm like, you don't know how big this is. Like, you don't understand what this moment's going to be in 5 years' time.
100%.
And they're like, dude, like, what? I'm like, no, trust me. Just take my fucking word for it. And then they'll watch the fight and they go, holy fuck. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
So good. Yeah, I think the amateur scene, like the levels, have gone up majorly. Like,
yes.
I remember when I was 12 and I was going to the Urbans in a ring. Mm-hmm. Like, this is when people were fighting MMA in a ring in Urban, and it was it wasn't at the Whitlam. It was at the Whitlam Centre. The Whitlam Centre. And the people were just punching on in a cage. And I remember looking at that like, oh, this is mad. Like, there's so many people here. Now, like, you look at these promotions, they're doing so much more. That's what all my coaches say. Like, you got it lucky.
For sure. And I think as more people become aware of, you know, the level of competition in, you know, promotions like IMAF and what's the other one? Is it Gamma?
Yeah, Gamma.
Yeah, IMAF and Gamma, and those start having more weight on the pool, and people like really start eyeing out those opportunities because they're massive. Man.
Do you think MMA should be in the Olympics?
Yes, absolutely.
I think it should as well.
It doesn't make sense that it's not.
How's boxing but not MMA?
Yeah.
It's just because it's so young. How crazy is it? MMA's only been around.
I think jiu-jitsu isn't in the Olympics, is it?
No.
I think
there's just ADCCs, worlds and stuff.
I think jiu-jitsu should definitely be in the Olympics.
Gi or no gi, bro? Because gi's dying. My coach won't like me saying that.
Here's my thing with gi.
When are you ever going to be in a bloody pajama suit
in the street? Be in a gi, you know?
When are you
I get it, and to, you know, pay homage to this tradition and listen, like the Gracies won the first ever UFC with a gi. Like that, I get it. Yeah. I get it. I just don't see it.
But the first car was bloody wheels and some wood.
Yeah, it was a horse.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, the first car was a horse and car.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of gi, but I'll practice it. I respect it.
I respect it.
Yeah.
But it's a dying breed. That's my opinion. And no gi's like, jiu-jitsu's like a sport now.
Oh,
like, people are interested in jiu-jitsu.
Dude.
Like comps and shit. Like, my coach Nathan's going to ADCC trials in Singapore, I think.
Right.
And then the ADCCs, they've set, I think there's going to be like 50,000 people.
I think jiu-jitsu is the one championship's best chance of taking over the UFC.
You reckon?
Because I think they're doing it right. I think they're doing jiu-jitsu specific competitions and Muay Thai specific competitions and MMA specific competitions. I love Dana White. I love what he's done for the UFC. You can fuck off with slap fighting. And you can
have you watched Power Slap? That shit is entertaining, bro. Have you watched the series, bro?
No.
Where they're in the house and they're like, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. Bro, it's funny, trust me.
Let Bellator do it. You know what I'm saying?
I think Bellator's going under as well.
That's what I'm saying. Let them do it. Let them have Power Slap or, you know, whatever it is. I genuinely believe that if you're going to be the prime distributor of mixed martial arts content and competition, you need to have, you know, divisions of that company that are dedicated to Muay Thai. It makes the most amount of sense to me.
Yeah, Muay Thai is the best form of violence.
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely. If you're a casual fan and you're kind of like iffy about mixed martial arts, go watch a Muay Thai fight.
Go to Thailand in that Bangtao, whatever it's called, stadium.
Yeah.
And watch people throw elbows.
Watch 6-year-olds cave each other's heads in, you know?
And then there's 90-year-olds as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've had one kickboxing fight.
How was that?
It was my only ever loss.
Right.
And it wasn't a loss. Yeah, rooting for whore.
Do you entertain like the idea of going and doing a kickboxing like K1 or something like that, or you're just like fucking?
See, like when I'm in Thailand, if they go, "Oh, do you want to fight?" Yeah, I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to try elbows. Nah, definitely. I feel like, I mean, I'd dabble in it again. Definitely boxing again.
Yeah.
If I don't know, say I sustained a massive injury and I could go to pro boxing, I definitely would.
Do you reckon you could take Jake Paul?
Bro, that's the thing. Jake Paul's the GOAT. That's what he is. Jake Paul is the GOAT. I will strongly agree. When he was like coming up, when I think it was like the Askren fight, I was like, I would get in there with him and I'd beat him. Because like everyone looks at him, but now he's separated himself from all those other YouTubers.
Oh, for sure.
Did you watch the one on the weekend?
I watched enough of it. I watched enough.
YouTube boxing needs to die.
Yeah.
It needs to just get out of here. Because it's like...
It's Jake Paul and everyone else.
Yeah, it's Jake Paul. He's just excluded himself from everyone. But like that's what happens when you are so rich and you get world-class champion coach, like world-class coaches, and you train every day for 5 years. Yeah. That's what you can mold into. Jake Paul could honestly become a pro boxer, like a proper pro boxer. If he started at 18 or even younger, I promise you he'd be making like noise right now. And he's not taking easy fights as well.
No.
Like pro boxers build up their records for a reason. Jake Paul's what, like 8-1? I
think if you look at Tommy Fury's last 8 fights and Jake Paul's last 8 fights, you go, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Jake Paul's not fighting nobody.
I get it. You know, Tyron Woodley, not the best striker the UFC's ever seen, but had hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Had hands. Not
power.
in his athletic prime, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. Ben Askren, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But you don't ever get to take shine away from Nate fucking Diaz.
Or Anderson Silva.
Exactly. You never take shine away from them.
Like what?
Ever.
What a bad
The
man.
amount of Nate Diaz disrespect that was put on because he was fighting Jake Paul. It's like, are you fucking... Did you guys forget?
Yeah.
Did you forget who Nate Diaz
is? No. Honestly.
Fuck that. I would never.
But the thing is, what he's so good at is like the way it's perceived to us. Like Nate Diaz is old. He was a bit sloppy. Tyron Woodley was a bit old. It's so interesting, the matchups. It's like just the perfect bit of like they both could win.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, he's gonna walk through this.
And that's the storyline building.
Yeah, he builds storyline.
And let's be real. Sure, Nate Diaz is in his athletic prime.
But you still, he can go in the gym and beat most people.
You're going to tell me you can't see Nate Diaz fighting Conor McGregor in 6 months' time?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. And then suddenly Nate Diaz isn't this old washed fighter anymore.
Yeah,
he's the guy that can beat Conor. They need to finish the trilogy. People are so fickle, man.
Yeah, 100%.
People are so fickle. So, you know, props to Jake Paul for everything he's done. I think you're right though. Like the YouTube.
I feel like a lot of older, like a lot of people just look at him like, oh, still that YouTuber. I was watching Jake Paul when I was 13. Legit.
You're there every day, bro.
No, I wasn't every day.
You got the merch and shit.
No, I never bought the merch. I definitely did watch him.
I get it, dude. He was the star of his time, and you know, for your generation, that was big.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because I grew up on KSI.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I was 14, 15, he was just what was popping, so we just watched that, and yeah, but I don't know. So disappointing.
And now kids are growing up nowadays with YouTube boxing.
Again, TikTok boxing.
Yeah, they're the biggest stars.
Yeah. It just keeps moving. The game keeps changing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think you're in a very sweet spot. You've obviously got the technical skills to perform and do great things and compete. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. Your record speaks for itself.
You can tell me, bro.
You're the best, man. But at the same time, I think you're aware enough and you're curious enough to go and really build something that's bigger than just your fights.
I'm just chasing perfection.
Yeah.
And perfection's impossible. As long as you keep chasing.
Well, listen, man, any final notes you want to leave on?
Everyone go follow. Can I show myself that?
Yeah, of course.
Everyone go follow me on Instagram, Flynn O Keffee. Make sure to stay tuned. I've got some news coming soon. So, yep.
He's got a fight in Thailand next week.
Against a girl. Against a lady boy. Nah, but that's it.
Sweet as. Listen, man, appreciate you. I'm glad that we could finally do this.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me on.
No, of course.